Liza Johnson thought as she moved along the deserted jogging path that cut through the Window Rock Navajo Nation Park. This was supposed to be her year. It was supposed to be the year her life truly began, or so her best friend's grandfather had promised her. Orrin Martinez, one of the secretive chiefs of the 6 tribes, had sought her out. She hadn't gone looking for his advice, now had she? He had no earthly reason to lie to her, yet he had done just that, or at least that was how it seemed. They're moving in, the boy stated softly over the tiny, all but invisible electronic link tucked in her ear. Just bounce those pretty tatas, sugar girl, and look pretty. We'll take care of the rest. Oh, shit, Kane. Liza managed not to laugh, but she could see exactly what had happened. Their communications and electronic guru, Reaver Jacobs, had obviously taken a blow from their commander, Kane Maverick. Flirtatious, sensual, teasing as hell, and a complete killer, Gabe absolutely loved a good fight, and, as he more often claimed, corrupting a good woman. The early morning chill wrapped around her. Chill bumps raised on her arms despite the warmth generated by the slow jog she'd moved into as she headed into the park bordering the Navajo Suites Hotel. The large circular path cut out in the hill, aptly named Window Rock, rose behind her. The first rays of warming sunlight was barely caressing the earth and had yet to peek into the small valley of cottonwoods and pinyon trees that the path wove through. Heads up, you have Diane Brown coming up on you. She's moving in fast and so are your shadows. Get ready for a party, Munchkin. Liza almost smiled at the nickname that Kane had given her when they first met 9 years before. She was still sure that now he only called her Munchkin when they were on a mission or assignment together, thankfully. Here we go, Reaver announced softly. Badass Browan is coming to visit. Liza felt the presence behind her the second it moved into place. The hairs at the back of her neck rose in anticipation of danger and a certainty that she was pushing her luck far past its patient limit this morning. Jumping from the path, she twisted, throwing her body to the side before coming to a crouch and staring back at Diane Browan from narrowed eyes. The other woman came to a stop without arching in mocking surprise as Liza faced her suspiciously. What do you want? Tense and prepared, she stared back at Diane. A nice jog, Diane queried with a small smile as she crossed her arms over her breasts and stared back at Liza curiously. A nice jog her ass. This woman was a highly trained mercenary and lover to one of the Bureau of Breed Affairs' most trusted breed enforcers. What the hell was she doing here? You're lying. Clipped and clearly distrusting, Liza remained on guard as Diane faced her. Now what do you want and why are you following me? Who trained you? Diane asked, rather than answering the question. Never trust anyone who answered a question with a question, her father had always warned her. No one you know, I'm certain, Liza sneered back. Now what the hell do you want? The other woman tilted her head to the side as Liza considered her options if this woman turned out to be the enemy. Tensing, she prepared for attack. Easy, Liza, Kane murmured through the link. Let's see what she wants. Oh, she had every intention of at least giving the other woman a chance to show her hand. Not that there was much of a chance of kicking Miss Browan's ass if she had to, Liza knew, but she might be able to hold her off until help arrived, or until she'd run. I'm no threat to you. The other woman soft, friendly laughter as Liza straightened, her gaze moving around them quickly as she searched for signs of the council's soldiers she knew would be moving in. She didn't have time to stand around and chit-chat all morning. Then you'll kindly leave the way you came, Liza told her. Diane grinned back at her ruefully. Sorry, Liza, but we really need to talk. Just for a bit, you understand. We could return to the hotel for the discussion, if you like. She glanced toward the direction of the Navajo Suites. I promise it won't take long. Liza's gaze jerked over Diana's shoulder. For a precious second, she had to fight the panic threatening to tear through her and overtake her. She'd been part of the Navajo Breed underground network for over a year now, and she had never been as frightened as she was now. Bureau breeds are moving in fast, and we have you covered, Kane assured her, but she heard the concern in the growl that came over the lake. See if you can get the bastards talking. If you can't, just be sure to hit the ground when I give the order. He's harmless, Diane stated. He? Oh, what was coming in behind the other woman was far from harmless. Swallowing tightly, Liza stared back at her. We have to get out of here. Honey, I've seen that hot-ass Thor of yours, and he makes one, not four, Liza assured her. Diane swung around, her hand whipping to her back and the weapon holstered there. Adrenaline flowed like a racing river through her bloodstream as they now faced 4 coyote breeds, their gazes amused, their weapons held ready. And if Liza wasn't mistaken, they weren't the good guys. Neither was what appeared to be a human male that stepped from the shadows of a heavy oak, several feet from the other woman. He wasn't in the least friendly. Liza recognized him. She had seen him jogging past the house several times. Hell, he'd even stopped to talk to her when Kane had accompanied her to the grocery store several times in the past few weeks. John Malcolm, he called himself. Yet her and Kane both had been certain that wasn't his real name, despite the fact that the background check reaper had run on him and the tags of his vehicle had checked out. Now she knew why she hadn't been comfortable during those brief meetings. It hadn't been his flirting or sexual interest. It was because he was the enemy. Malcolm, Diane Brown whispered the name with an edge of pain. She obviously knew him, and it was more than apparent he had somehow betrayed her. Liza swore she could feel the pain pouring from the other woman. It was in her voice, in her expression as she stared at the man as he stepped forward. I thought it was Brick, Diane whispered when he smirked back at her. Brick was another member of the 4-man team she commanded. Since her uncle's death, Liza knew. Kane had managed to uncover the identities of most of the men on her team. Unfortunately, he'd still had one to go. This one. Malcolm chuckled, a cruel, vicious sound. Good old Gideon would have gotten me if I hadn't managed to find a way to trip that dumb bastard Brick and throw him in the way. Son of a bitch never figured it out either. Interesting. He had to be talking about the attack Gideon Cross had made on the team in D.C. Where's Thor? The rasp of fear of Diane's voice warned Liza that the hulking Viking should have been close by. The fact that he wasn't obviously didn't bode well. The feeling of watching rather than participating in life sucked Liza further in. It deadened fear, panic, even curiosity. All her senses seemed centered on the second. I'm sure I'm missing a word. See why I was trying to edit. Okay. We'll just skip this part. The unique qualities of her ultra-photographic memory would take care of the rest. He's a bit under the weather, boss, Malcolm mocked Diane. It might have something to do with the knife I shoved in his chest. I do believe I even managed to pierce that bastard's icy little heart. The bureau's moving in. Kane's voice was barely a whisper as he alerted her to the cavalry moving in. Thorson's wounded but breathing. As he spoke, Diane pulled the light. Well, she's pulling that pistol out again, isn't she? I told you. Okay. As he spoke, Diane pulled the laser pistol from her back and pointed it at Malcolm's heart as she activated it. Liza, run, she ordered, her voice heavy, resigned. Diane was going to kill him. Liza could sense it. Unfortunately, Malcolm wasn't the only one there, and that laser pistol would only get perhaps one shot off before those coyotes descended on her like rabid dogs. Stay in place, Kane spoke softly, warningly. Keep her there. Where? Liza forced disbelief to fill her voice. Have you noticed there are 4 coyotes here, lady? Does it look like I have a chance? One of those coyotes grinned. A tilt of his lips that covered the curved canines had her gaze sharpening on him. There was something in his gazes that met hers. Amusement, definitely, but perhaps also a hint of a wink. Was he flirting? Or was there something more there? The first one that moves will die, Diane snapped as she spared a glance back at her. Now get the hell out of here. If she runs, one of us will chase, the lead coyote murmured with an irrepressible grin. We can't resist it. It's like a dog with a ball. We just have to fetch. He wagged his brows playfully. He was definitely flirting, but there was also a sense, a slight edge of reassurance. What the hell's going on here? Malcolm, where did you find your coyotes? Diane asked with insulting disbelief. They're fucking crazy. They're fucking effective, Malcolm snapped back. They caught your ass, didn't they? Liza wondered just how true that was. Where's your mate, little warrior? The coyote murmured silkily as his dark gray eyes danced in amusement. I can smell his mark on